You're now listening to the Zod and Drea podcast.
Hello,
what's going on?
How's your day been?
All right, we are back once again.
And gosh, the week has just been nonstop.
It's been crazy going on. Over here in Arizona, there's just a lot going on. And even just in the world of politics and entertainment, we've just been going through a whirlwind. So obviously Donald Trump has been, finalized. Electoral College didn't do their job, but we pretty much already assumed that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. But he'll have a wonderful assistance by Kanye West.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet. So stupid, Kanye. You're so fucked up, man.
What are you doing? You can't go. Okay, Donald Trump announced, wasn't it, that he didn't have time to go to any of the meetings.
Yeah, all the briefings. We don't need that shit.
Security briefings that are going on across the globe that could affect the United States and their citizens, but he has time to see.
Yeah, anyway, we'll get into
Kanye.
that one later. We got a couple good things that are going on with the topics of discussion. Obviously, this being a big Star Wars weekend, I mean, we're talking about they took in $249 million for which movie?
Rogue One!
Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So we went and saw that. We're going to do a little movie review on that movie, which is really good. Obviously, we're going to talk politics, talk about the Electoral College a little bit and, what it's going to mean for us. And the main topic is a fun one. So we want you to go back into the days of when you were in your cradle and when you were just a child.
A little wee one.
Just a little wee one. Doing a little jig. As a little young lass.
Yeah, I can totally see you doing a jig. Sure.
I can do that shit. Man, don't give me a buckle shoes, boy. Don't give me the buckle shoes, the buckle Jordans. So we are going to discuss this crazy topic, which is...
Have you ever taken the time to break down children's songs and stories?
So we're going to hit up a couple of those.
Yeah, we had a good time doing the research on this.
Yeah, we just wanted to have a fun one and all the chaos. So, yeah, we hope that you guys wind up throwing a little bit in there, too, when we post up.
Yeah, and we hope we don't freak you out too much either.
Hey, if we don't, then, it's your fault, because this is probably sung to you as a kid, and you're probably singing them to your own little ones as a kid, so that'll be your fault.
I know which ones I will not sing ever again now.
Yeah, like all of them.
Or stories to repeat, too.
Rather do a Kanye West song.
Oh, no.
All right, but first off, we know what we want to talk about. Let's talk. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about what do you want to get off your chest first?
Let's get off my chest. All right, we talked so much about politics all the time, right?
But we're going to get into it.
Yeah, we are. Let's first talk about the meeting that we had this week.
Okay, we can talk about that. So over here in the Arizona nation, known as Phoenix, we if you heard our podcast before with Chassie Chilton of the Pantsuit Nation at the time, which is going to wind up changing its name, not Pantsuit Nation, but the faction of it that we're doing. As well as Chris Love, who is co-chairing along with me of the Arizona Black Outreach, which was a very good podcast and video podcast. If you haven't seen it, make sure you do, because it's a very good discussion between a black woman, white woman, within feminism and intersectionality, and what it is we want to do to accomplish in order to bridge the gap that Donald Trump had separated, but what that was already damaged anyway to begin with due to hundreds of years of white superiority in this country, or claimed superiority. Let's call it what it is, white supremacy. So we wound up having a meeting, our first meeting for the Black Outreach in Arizona, and Drea was there to represent, took notes, and we had about 22 people show up.
Mm-hmm. For a Sunday afternoon, that was a good size amount of people, and they came ready to learn, talk,
mm-hmm.
and move something. Like, they just didn't come to have a meeting; they wanted to leave with some task at hand and get some things done. And
task at hand, things done is what they did. See, here's the way that I thought about it. If anybody, and I'm sure most people who have been involved in activism or even politics. I mean, just take a look at anything that's happened when Barack Obama was elected. Like, it doesn't matter how far back you go. You'll always have that sense of enthusiasm to get into something, especially when it's emotionally raw. So this being Donald Trump's election, obviously the Electoral College let him in, and, he's going to be the 45th president for whatever reason. I mean, and completely make an utter ass of himself and make the United States a joke that we pretty much knew it was, but the world is completely laughing at us. Anyway, to move on, these women wound up coming together. We already knew that they would come together and rally as a strong force, men and women. But that as time went on, and if they didn't see action quickly, they were already emotionally raw.
Yes.
They wanted to jump into it now. And if they didn't see anything happen, they were going to start falling off. Mm-hmm. And so that's what started to happen. And that's why I like to wait for things like this, because you wind up seeing that who shows up at the meeting, and all the women and men, really it's just women. I mean,
and families too.
Were there. That were there. They were there for the long haul, and they showed up ready. They were enthusiastic. They were still enthusiastic, and this is new to them. This activism they're not used to black outreach. These were a lot of white women and black women there to help guide them. Mm-hmm. And Chris Love and I were there to help, lead them. And I think it's going to wind up being positive results going into 2017.
They were a lot of good ideas on what to do to start engaging the community now, different organizations to start reaching out to and to support, to lend our support and saying we're here as a voice, we're here as another arm, what can we do to help? And I really love to see what's going to be happening, and really a lot of the energy that was there, because you could tell it wasn't just a quick placebo, to make everybody feel good. That wasn't what this meeting was about. That's not what I left with. And I know a lot of people didn't leave with just a warm fuzzy, then I'm going to go back to my world and forget about everything. You can tell people took away what was accomplished there and have already implementing some of that into their life. You can look at some of the posts that we're receiving and some messages that we're receiving about what people learned from the meeting and what they're starting to then put in their own life, what they're aware of now, versus what they weren't aware of before.
And that's what's so good about it. It's a learning experience. So if we can have, white women who learn about what black women are going to inside of feminism. So, feminism is one thing, but black women don't get to experience what white women have. So there's a complete divide and things where they're left out. So I'm going to love to see what the black women give to, and then also the outreach that we put into the community. So we're going to be helping everybody.
Mm-hmm. And listen up for a future podcast with the Latino outreach as well coming up.
That's coming up too. So we're going to spread that word. And now for the final. Well, it's not the final, but let's say the most recent.
I'm about to say, don't say final like that.
No, not final. The most recent thing to come out of the Star Wars saga, Rogue One.
I was so excited.
I loved it, and I wasn't even excited to see it.
You knew I couldn't stop talking about it. What I was more excited about anything was seeing the diverse cast. And I know the word diverse and diversity is always used and overused so much, but in this case, you had so many backgrounds, nationalities, ethnicities represented that were taking lead roles in this movie, and it worked well. And it was fantastic. I loved this story. And for those of you that aren't familiar with what it's about, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it's simply just the story of the team that went into the Empire to take the plans of the Death Star. And how that all entailed, and what that was all about, how it led to that. Because again, then New Hope starts off, for all you Star Wars junkies like me, New Hope was the series then that what we grew up in the 70s watching, right?
Yeah.
And so that story then falls right into how this all came out to be. And again, fantastic. There was no Jar Jar Binks. There was none of that stupid silliness, all that crazy CGI. There we go. And the music was great.
Music was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, talk. Keep talking.
I'm trying to think. Like you got, you
This is your
threw me
theme.
off.
Go ahead.
It is so my theme, and it was you got to see some characters that they were paying homage to before, but it's just all new.
Yeah,
It is
stop
its
before we get
own.
sued.
I know, right? I don't need. I don't need Disney and that entity suing us. But it's its own story. I really feel it could stand alone on its own.
Now, my whole thing I took from it was, it's a story. So it's in between those two Star Wars. So basically, the story is the Death Star hasn't been built quite yet. In the beginning of this, they need, or at least it was built, and they need the guy to come back to finish the job, whatever. So it's brand new. They're testing the weapon system and all that other bullshit. So this is before the 70s joints that came out, where Luke Skywalker was even trained as a Jedi. This is before Luke. Like, Luke is probably an infant somewhere. He's running around doing whatever he's doing in the beginning of this movie. 15 years later, I think it is, then they continue the story, and that's when they have to try to find and get the plans about the Death Star.
Yeah, I think it.
And you remember, because that's when the whole Rebel system had to try to get it to where it had to go to. And if you remember in the first Star Wars, that's when Princess Leia got it from the droid from R2D2, R2D2, that Obi-Wan was trying to send her some damn notes about some shit. So that's how it all starts. I had not low expectations. I just didn't really care. I was like, oh god, we just had a Star Wars movie last year. Blah blah blah. It's all the same, lightsabers and shit. The way that they did this one, it's like I like the new characters. First of all, Donnie Yen was in it. Once I knew he was in it, it's like, okay, I have to see this. It's Donnie Yen. Forget everything else. It's Donnie Yen. Forrest Whitaker did his thing. He couldn't breathe. And, my girl kept on saying that Mexicans are in space, and they're not.
Yes, they are.
They're not Mexicans.
They are in space. Diego Luna did a fantastic job.
They don't have Mexicans. They don't have Mexico on different planets. So...
Explain what?
They don't. Donnie Yen wasn't Asian. His character wasn't Asian. He was from some fucking planet. Like, that's what it was.
But he represented.
Asian. No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He has Donnie Yen represented. Whoever the hell his character was did.
I don't care.
So shout out to the diverse cast that they had. And what was funny was the alt-right white supremacists tried to do a dump Star Wars hashtag on Twitter for people because they thought that, it was going against Donald Trump, the whole storyline, and are you with her? And the guy, fuck out of here. They really believed that they were going to dump this movie, and it made $249 million worldwide.
And they also said it was a pro-feminist. Like, shut up, guys.
Because a woman was, don't you understand women fight? They've been fighting since... even here, in the Civil War, they were fighting. They were fighting in the Revolutionary War. Like, stop it. Anyway, they failed. So, alt-right, once again, you're a loser. You have your president that you want, but when he's not building that wall, you're going to be pissed off. I hope Star Wars comes to light and the fucking Death Star blows this shit up.
Please listen carefully.
Once again, make sure you listen to the Zod and Drea podcast by subscribing to one of the following podcast methods: iTunes, Google Play, or YouTube. Visit our website at www.zodanddrea.com to go directly to the links, or if you choose, you can listen to each podcast episode directly on the website under their individual posts.
Want to get involved and have your voice heard on the next podcast? Then be sure to tune in to the question of the week on our website, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram page. And dial in and leave a message on our voicemail at 323-963-4221.
If you're an advertiser who would like to have your 30-second or 1-minute placement on our podcast or YouTube episode, please contact us at info@zodanddrea.com and we'll send you a price list. Space is limited for each episode.
The next podcast might even have you as a featured guest.
Tune in, check us out, and get involved. All right,
We're
people,
back.
Check this out. All right, so we've been going over, we were just kind of laughing at a few things that, people were telling their kids story-wise, and we figured it would be a funny podcast to talk about this, because maybe you've thought about it, maybe you haven't thought about it, but I swear some of this stuff is crazy, so...
I think it all started when we were at the store, I think. Like everybody else in the world, or at least the United States, you're shopping for Christmas stuff, like always, or, holiday stuff. And I think we heard... a song, right? And it made us think about this question again. Have you ever taken the time to break down children's songs and stories. And one of the songs that we heard was, we really broke down was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Somebody had posted it online, but then we started breaking it down. It's like, damn, it's true.
Poor Rudolph got the the shaft.
Like Rudolph was getting fucked over. Like, you can't play any reindeer games.
Nobody paid attention to him
they
until...
pretty much bullied him, you know? Like, because they made fun of him, you know? They never let him play in any... Like, how are you not going to let him? It's like, you're weird. You know? You're artistic.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
He was so mistreated.
Like, it's like, no, he's not autistic. He just has a red nose. Well, you got a birth defect, man. You're retarded. No, he just has a red nose. It's like, come on. So they wouldn't do it until what happened?
Because one stormy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say...
Yeah, Rudolph, with your nose so bright...
Won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
tonight?
It's like, oh, now you need me?
Oh, wait, no. It was the next line, though. Because remember, Santa didn't know all this shit was going on. So he was like, yo, you know what? Your nose is so bright, dude. It was the next line.
Then all the reindeers loved him.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought I was a fucking pariah a second ago. I thought I was garbage. I thought I couldn't play in any reindeer games. But now you find me useful. Now I'm going to lead the pack. You know what, Donner? You can kiss my ass. Yo, Blitzen, I'm going to see you behind the damn stage tomorrow. Yo, you're going to see me.
And guess what? After today, none of you got jobs. I would fire all of them.
All of them. It's like, yo, I'm taking all that.
I'm going to take all your jobs.
I'm taking all that, man.
Or I just take all your pay, and you guys are going to pay me extra for that day of overtime.
Yo, just on a side note, if you ever want to have some fun, listen to DMX rap Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Just real quick, but that's a side note. If you want to hear DMX, just listen to DMX.
Because it's just perfect for the holidays.
Like the video with Rudolph dancing.
He's got that chain on his neck.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk about some of these other that we thought, as a kid, thinking these were just innocent stories. Yeah.
They're not.
No.
They're not. They're messed up.
I've been bamboozled.
You know? You've been hoodwinked. like just listen to some of these. All right, who do we want to start with? I have some Mother Goose joints.
Yeah, let's start with Mother Goose.
All right, I don't know. I don't even know if this is a Mother Goose song. I'm going to start with this one because I don't even know if it is. But just have you ever, three blind mice?
That's Mother Goose.
It's like, oh, this is cool. See how they run. See how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife. Okay, so they're running after her for whatever reason. So what did she do? She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as three blind mice? Okay, so let's break it down. Okay.
What kind of plague-infested mice were these?
First of all, they were plague-infested because they were blind, number one. So I don't know what the purpose of it was, but these blind mice felt like, first of all, mice run, but they were running after the farmer's wife. Okay, I don't know what she was doing. Maybe she was just chilling, but she had a kitchen, a carving knife in her hand at the time. This is what she had. So she had a weapon. She was straight. And she decided to cut off it's not that first of all, they're blind, so they're kind of defenseless. And you cut off each tail.
Maybe they have, because they're blind, maybe they're scent of smell.
They're not
That's why
Daredevil.
they smelled her.
They're not Daredevil. They are just blind mice. They were smelling corn. They smelled corn, and that was it. And she cut their tails off, which means she had to chase each one down and cut off their tails and let them live. She is a sadistic motherfucker.
So then it makes you think, what was the purpose of the story?
What was it?
Why were people singing to me? Why was this even done? And
come on.
Why were cartoons then even based on this? Why?
This is crazy. This is crazy.
You have a serial killer mice hating woman going around.
She wasn't even killing them. She cut their tails off and sat down and watched them. She's evil, and she knew they were blind. Evil, man. I'm telling you, evil in this world.
Little did you know, hidden in a Mother Goose story.
Little did you know. What else you got?
Let's see. There was one that, of course, it's raining, it's pouring.
What?
It's raining, it's
It's pouring.
pouring, the old man is snoring.
Innocent?
Uh-huh. Right.
Yeah.
He got into bed and bumped his head and couldn't get up in the morning.
He's
He's
dead! Oh my God! That's so messed up. He's in a coma. And he doesn't have life alert.
He doesn't have anybody helping him.
Nothing.
He got a concussion because he got scared of the rain. Maybe there was lightning and
Oh, my
thunder,
God.
and nobody was there to help him.
That is
Why
messed up.
would this be something I would sing? It's awful.
That's awful. That's awful. All right, so break it down. Break it down. Break it down.
Oh God, I can't even begin.
Break it down.
For what?
Okay, so it's raining. Mm-hmm. Come on, break it down. So we know that the weather has been bad that day.
Yeah,
so
right.
you want me to break it down, obviously, because you don't know what you're talking about. All right.
Well, look, when you say break it down, I'm like, what?
That's what
Am I
we're
breaking
doing.
down into
We're
a different
breaking
lyric?
No, we are breaking it down.
So it's raining and it's pouring, right?
Okay,
We know.
So the weather was bad.
There's a storm, it's a storm coming. The old man is snoring. Well, yeah, I mean, I go to sleep when it's raining because I'm tired.
Okay, so
and,
you have...
it sounds like a cozy atmosphere, right? So the old man snoring, leave the guy alone, right?
Right.
He got into bed, which is kind of confusing because if he's snoring already, why is he barely going into bed?
Okay.
Unless he passed out on a chair drinking a beer. I don't know. So then the next line of, and bumped his head. Well, yeah, because he's half conscious, right?
Right, so yeah.
So I got to give the guy some credit. Okay, and couldn't get up in the morning. Okay, because he's dead. His head is he might have bit his tongue. Like, why?
No, he's dead. Mm-hmm. He's dead. Hello. We're gonna get to him. All right, here he is.
I'm having chest pain.
Oh my God. Was that him? Was that him? Hold up.
Fallen, and I can't get up.
Oh no, God! And then what happened to him? He didn't have life alert.
He didn't have anybody.
He's dead.
He is all by himself.
All by himself.
Now,
Oh, God.
babe, you got to do this one. You know which one you got to do next.
All right, so check this out. It sounds so innocent. Sometimes it's rockabye, but sometimes it's hushabye. So it's like rockabye baby on a treetop.
When the wind blows, the cradle will rock.
Dun, 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 dun. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall.
Down will come baby, cradle and all.
Okay, so I'm going to sing to my child for whatever reason, I felt like taking my kid, putting it on a tree, and leaving.
That's just already bad parenting.
On a windy day.
Yeah.
I saw the weather. See, it's like the old man. He knew it was storming and shit. He died. So it's windy today. I'm like, you know what? I wonder what happened. It's It's like those movies, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. See what I'm saying? So I'm just saying.
How are you going to even put a cradle up on the tree like that?
She's on the damn tree.
Like, how's that even possible?
We knew that it was windy weather and we're not around. The cradle will rock when that wind blows. You know, that's we're breaking it down. Mm-hmm. Then the bough breaks, which we pretty much figured baby weight plus the cradle.
Right. Super expensive cradle, come on.
On a branch on top of a tree. So I can see if it was on the lower branches where they're stronger, but it's on the top one. So
of course.
It's on the new branches. So it's going to be a little weak.
The little sapling one.
Yeah. And the cradle will fall and down will fall baby cradle.
The baby is dead.
So he's going to and she was just an infant. I mean, I don't know why I have to sing this to my child.
That doesn't ease me.
That doesn't ease me. No.
If anything, it'll make me terrified of the wind and a tree.
I'm stressed.
Yeah.
I'm stressed.
One more that I'll bring up then, because this is the one I remember singing a lot in grade school. Ring Around the Rosie. You think it's an innocent song,
it is.
right?
I loved it.
All right, so like you said, I will break this down.
Okay.
Ring a Rosie is actually how it originally was written.
Sing the whole thing. And then...
Ring a Rosies, pocket full of posies,
Ooh.
ashes, ashes, we all fall down. So, okay. Break it down as Ring of Rosies is said to indicate a rosy rash that spread across the victim's body, while a pocket full of posies was used to ward off the smell of the disease. So again, a ring around rosies is pretty much saying like you got a rash and you're gonna die and you stink, so that's why I gotta pull out these pocket full of posies because I can't be around your rot and rotting and flesh.
Infested, bubonic plague ass.
And then now we get to know why ashes is in there, because that comes falling down are the remnants of the cremated dead bodies. So, yes, you could say that this story, in fact, it was written around 1665. And what was going on at that time?
Man, they were probably burning witches and
bubonic plague is what was it.
Shit.
So, how did it turn out that this rhyme, which sounds like a taunting rhyme to the victims of the plague, transform itself into a song that you would sing in the playground with your friends as you're holding hands in a little circle?
Who thought that was a good idea? I know I used to be. Look, I remember in kindergarten we used to hold hands and say, "Rank around the world, both the policies." Not knowing we're like, okay, murder and death.
Your rotting flesh stinks, and I'm gonna need a flower to smell better.
Oh, God, get the hell out of here with that. This is a fucking sadistic ass shit to sing to your kids. So, okay, I got another one.
Okay.
You remember Sing a Song of Sixpence? Mm-hmm. Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. And for some reason, when the pie was open, the birds began to sing. Wasn't that a dainty dish to set before a king? Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Why are you going to cook that? Okay.
Wait.
Okay. Well, anyway. The king was in his counting house, counting out his money. The queen was in the parlor, eating bread and honey. Okay, it was cool.
She's having a good time.
She's having a good time. The maid was in the garden, hanging out the clothes, when down came a blackbird and pecked off her nose. Okay, let's just stop for a minute, okay?
That's a sadistic bird.
So, first of all, she's cooking. You got a pocket full of rye. No big deal, okay? But I'm not sure why 4 and 20, so 24 blackbirds you felt would be baked alive. And since the pie was open, they began to sing. Sing meaning they were screaming their asses off. It means you baked them alive, so they were hurt and injured. And it was for the king. So the king was going to eat these blackbirds, feathers and everything else. And these sadistic bastards felt like cooking them. And for whatever reason, she was out in the garden, the maid, and obviously revenge was on the mind of one blackbird. He was probably number 25. You got my brothers. You got my sisters.
My cousins are in there.
That's it.
My Theo Blackbird's in there.
But I shall have my revenge.
Hope you like that honey and pie afterwards.
Yeah, you fool, right? Bam! Bit that nose off. How you like that?
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to put in a pie.
Yeah, I should eat that. Eat your bloody ass nose. Sadistic. What you got for me?
And, I also pulled up some information about the Brothers Grimm.
All right.
Right? Everyone's familiar with those stories, right?
Yes.
Dave, what do you remember? Which stories do you remember from them?
The Brothers Grimm?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Didn't they have, who were the kids that went and met the witch in the little house?
Right, like Hansel and Gretel, Cinderella. Mm-hmm. Well, turns out these stories were originally, and some of you may know this, some of you may not. They were originally written for adults. So the original stories had a lot of sex, violence, and incest in them. Well, since these stories weren't selling very much, that's when the brothers decided to, let's just change these stories up a little bit so they're not so menacing and scary. And this way children can read it. So that's where these stories came from. And the modifications weren't as much, I think, because you still have some meanings that are still left. So, actually, there were some meanings that were hidden, but if you can see in the stories now, the ones I'm going to tell you about, you'll probably see it from there.
All right, like what?
So, like, for instance, with Cinderella, in the story, the mean stepsisters, so they could fit into the slippers, cut off their toes. And Rapunzel, in that story, actually gets pregnant by the prince after a casual fling. Just some of the modifications from the
Brothers Grimm.
Yeah, the Brothers Grimm.
I can't believe this is almost over, so I'm going to leave you with this. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread. She whipped them all soundly and sent them to bed.
That's the most evil foster home I've ever heard.
Good night, children. Good night.
Evil
bastard.
Night.
Oh boy. All right. We just wanted to have a fun one with you podcast since all this crazy stuff is going on politically. So we hope you joined in, you got to listen, and you won't sing any of your kids these songs.
I hope not. I really hope not. And probably makes you look at some of the Disney stories a little different. But again, let us know what you thought. Please post any of your comments. You know where to find us. If you are not familiar yet, Zod, where do they find us?
Okay, you know that you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram, Snapchat. You can find us on iTunes. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, and also on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button so that you'll always be in the know of when Zod and Drea podcasts are on.
And keep a ear out then for future casts, including, again, some of the Latino diversity groups.
Yes.
And there's just so many other people that we're going to be then talking to. So, and again, if you want to be one of those people, let us know. We put you on the show.
All right. Take it easy, people.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.